So question 10, we want to find a GPA, a grade point average. So again, a grade point average is basically what's called a weighted mean. So it's kind of like we just did a minute ago, the mean of a frequency distribution, but now we have this W bar, which stands for weighted mean. Notice how again we have to do the sum of X times F. So we got to multiply the data entries times how often it repeated. And then we divide that by the sum of how often repeated, the sum of the frequencies. So we're going to try to do this by hand since there's only three things in here. So notice how an A is worth 4, a B is worth 3, a C is worth 2, a D is worth 1, and an F is worth 0. Now this person had an A that was weighted as a 4. The B was weighted as a 2, and the C was weighted as a 4. So they have 4 units of A, 2 units of B, and 4 units of C. So just by looking at it, it looks like the A's and C's are kind of canceling each other out. It looks like this is just going to be a 2.0 average just because of of how the weights play out there. But if we do the math, what we're doing is we're multiplying, since an A was worth 4 points, we have 4 4s. So 4 times 4 would be 16. And we're going to add to that because we have to do the sum of those. A B was worth 3 points, but we got 2 of those, so that's going to be a 6. And we're going to add to that, we have a C that we got 2 C's, but I'm sorry, we have 1 C here, but it's worth a weight of 4. So it's like we got 4 C's, if you will. So 2 times 4 would be actually 8. And then we divide it by the sum of the frequencies. So it looks like we had 4 A's, 2 B's, and 4 C's. So that's 6, 10. We're going to be dividing that by 10. So if we do the math here, 6 plus 16 would be 22. 22 plus 8 would be 30. 30 divided by 10 would give us that 3.0, or a B average, if you will. So notice how that problem, you really wouldn't need a graphing calculator since there's such small data. But notice how we have to change these A's to what they're worth. So an A was worth 4, a B was worth 3, a C was worth 2. We didn't have any D's or F's, but notice how we had 4 A's, 2 B's, and 4 C's. So if we multiply the weight times how many times it occurred, they give us a 16. The weight of the B times how many times it occurred, that would give us a 6. And a C was worth 2 points, and it occurred 4 times. So if we do the math, we do see a 3.0 there. But notice how, again, that there's symmetry here. The A's and the C's were the same, and notice how if the A was worth 4 and the C's were worth 2, they're just going to come into the middle and be a 3. And since we have 2 B's there, you can kind of see that symmetry, if you will, and get that 3.0 that way as well. So I think that's all there is for that question. So that's basically really how you would do your own grades.